Imagine a world with coastlines redrawn. The places we know and love, the cities and towns that have stood for centuries, could be drastically altered. The coastlines we see today might not be recognizable in the future. Erosion and rising sea levels are already changing the map, and the process is accelerating. Cities like Miami and New York could be underwater. These iconic cities, known for their vibrant culture and economic significance, face a dire threat. Streets that once bustled with life could become canals, and buildings that scrape the sky could be submerged. The impact on the economy, infrastructure, and daily life would be unimaginable. This is the future we face if Greenland's ice continues to melt. The ice in Greenland is melting at an unprecedented rate, contributing significantly to global sea level rise. The time-lapse of ice melting shows a stark reality. What once was solid and permanent is now disappearing before our eyes. The ice sheet covering Greenland is massive. It spans over 1.7 million square kilometers, making it the second largest ice body in the world. This vast expanse of ice plays a crucial role in regulating our planet's climate and sea levels. It holds enough water to raise global sea levels by over 20 feet. If all the ice in Greenland were to melt, the consequences would be catastrophic. Coastal cities around the world would be inundated, displacing millions of people and causing widespread devastation. Even a small amount of melting has a big impact on our planet. The meltwater from Greenland's ice contributes to rising sea levels, which in turn affects weather patterns, ocean currents, and ecosystems. The cascading effects of this melting ice are felt far beyond the Arctic. Greenland's ice melt is a global issue. It's not just a problem for the Arctic or for coastal cities, it's a problem for everyone. The changes in sea level and climate affect agriculture, water supplies, and weather patterns worldwide. This is a crisis that requires a global response. It affects everyone, not just those living in the Arctic, from farmers in rural areas to residents of bustling urban centers. The impacts of climate change are felt everywhere. Flooded agricultural land means less food production, and extreme weather events can disrupt lives and economies. Understanding the future of Greenland's ice is crucial for understanding our planet's future. Scientists are working tirelessly to study ice cores and climate data to predict what lies ahead. Their research is vital for developing strategies to mitigate the effects of climate change and to adapt to the changes that are already happening. We need to pay attention to what's happening in Greenland. The retreat of glaciers and the melting of ice are clear indicators of a warming planet. By understanding these changes, we can better prepare for the future and take action to protect our world. The time to act is now, before it's too late. Scientists are closely watching Greenland's weather. The forecast for 2024 to 2025 suggests a continuation of recent trends. This means warmer temperatures are expected across Greenland. These warmer temperatures have serious consequences for the ice sheet. The summer months are particularly concerning. Summer 2022 saw a heat wave in Greenland. Temperatures soared, and a significant amount of ice melted. Experts predict similar events may occur in the coming years. This raises alarm bells for the future of the ice sheet. Historically, Greenland experienced long, cold winters. These winters allowed the ice sheet to replenish itself. Snowfall would accumulate, adding to the ice sheet's mass. However, winters are becoming shorter and milder. This shift in seasons has a profound impact on the ice sheet. Less snowfall means less replenishment. At the same time, warmer summers accelerate melting. This combination creates a dangerous imbalance. The ice sheet is losing more ice than it's gaining. Recent studies paint a stark picture of Greenland's future. Scientists use various methods to track ice melt. Satellite observations measure changes in the ice sheet's height. Weather stations on the ground record temperatures and snowfall. These studies reveal a worrying trend. Greenland's ice sheet is melting at an accelerating rate. Some scientists predict that by 2100, Greenland could lose a significant portion of its ice. This would have catastrophic consequences for global sea levels. Section 5. A warming world. As we delve into the pressing issue of our time, we witness the dramatic changes occurring in Greenland. The once vast and stable ice sheets are now rapidly melting, a clear indicator of the warming world we live in. The primary driver of Greenland's ice melt is clear global warming. This phenomenon is not isolated to Greenland alone, but is a global crisis affecting every corner of our planet. The ice sheets, which have existed for millennia, are now retreating at an unprecedented rate. The Earth's average temperature is rising due to greenhouse gas emissions. These emissions come from various sources, including industrial activities, transportation, and agriculture. The increase in temperature is not just a number. It has far-reaching consequences for ecosystems, weather patterns, and sea levels. These gases trap heat in the atmosphere, causing the planet to warm. The greenhouse effect, while a natural process, has been exacerbated by human activities. The excessive release of carbon dioxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases has intensified this effect, leading to a warmer climate. Human activities are the main source of these emissions. Factories, vehicles, and even agricultural practices release significant amounts of greenhouse gases. The Industrial Revolution marked the beginning of a new era of human impact on the environment, and we are now witnessing the consequences. Burning fossil fuels for energy releases vast amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Coal, oil, and natural gas have been the backbone of our energy systems, but their combustion releases harmful pollutants. Transitioning to cleaner energy sources is essential to mitigate these emissions. Deforestation also contributes to the problem, as trees absorb carbon dioxide. Forests act as carbon sinks, absorbing and storing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. When trees are cut down, not only is this carbon storage capacity lost, but the carbon stored in the trees is also released back into the atmosphere. Reducing our reliance on fossil fuels and protecting forests are crucial steps in slowing global warming. Investing in renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectric power can significantly reduce our carbon footprint. Additionally, reforestation and forest conservation efforts are vital in maintaining the balance of our ecosystem. By taking these steps, we can work towards a more sustainable and resilient future for our planet. Section 6. The human factor. While global warming is the primary culprit, other factors contribute to ice melt. Soot and black carbon from industrial pollution darken the ice sheet's surface. This makes the ice absorb more sunlight, further accelerating melting. Changes in ocean currents also play a role. Warmer waters are reaching Greenland's coasts, melting glaciers from below. These factors, combined with rising temperatures, create a perfect storm for ice loss. Addressing these issues requires a multifaceted approach. Section 7. Rising tides. The consequences of Greenland's ice melt are far-reaching. As the ice sheet melts, it releases billions of tons of water into the ocean. This directly contributes to rising sea levels. Even a small rise in sea level can have devastating effects. Coastal communities are particularly vulnerable. They face an increased risk of flooding, erosion, and storm surges. Infrastructure, homes, and livelihoods are all at risk. The economic and social costs of sea level rise are enormous. Section 8. Coastal catastrophe. The impact of rising sea levels extends beyond coastal communities. Many of the world's major cities are located on coasts. These cities are home to millions of people and vital infrastructure. Sea level rise threatens their very existence. In addition to flooding, rising sea levels can contaminate freshwater sources with salt water. This has dire consequences for drinking water supplies and agriculture. The displacement of populations due to sea level rise could lead to humanitarian crises. Section 9. A global emergency. Greenland's melting ice is a stark reminder of the urgency of climate change. It is a global problem that demands a global response. We must act now to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of climate change. International cooperation is essential. Countries must work together to transition to clean energy sources, protect forests, and develop sustainable practices. The future of our planet depends on it. Section 10. A call to action. The fate of Greenland's ice sheet is intertwined with our own. As the ice melts, it contributes to rising sea levels, which threaten coastal communities around the world. The loss of this ice also disrupts global weather patterns, leading to more extreme weather events. We cannot afford to ignore the warning signs. The retreat of glaciers and the thawing of permafrost are clear indicators that our planet is warming at an alarming rate. These changes are not just happening in remote areas, they are affecting ecosystems and human lives everywhere. Monitoring and understanding the changes happening in Greenland is crucial. Scientists are working tirelessly to gather data and analyze trends using ice cores and satellite imagery to track the extent of ice loss. This research is vital for predicting future changes and preparing for their impacts. But knowledge alone is not enough. While scientific understanding is essential, it must be paired with action. We need to translate this knowledge into policies and practices that can mitigate the effects of climate change. We must act decisively to address the root causes of climate change. Reducing our carbon footprint, supporting sustainable practices, and investing in renewable energy sources like wind and solar power are critical steps. Transitioning to electric vehicles and improving energy efficiency in our homes and businesses can also make a significant difference. And advocating for policy changes are all essential steps. Public pressure and grassroots movements play a crucial role in pushing governments and corporations to take meaningful action. By raising our voices and demanding change, we can influence policy decisions and drive systemic change. The time for complacency is over. The increasing frequency and severity of extreme weather events serve as a stark reminder that we are running out of time. Hurricanes, wildfires and heat waves are becoming more common and more destructive, affecting millions of lives. The future of our planet is at stake. The choices we make today will determine the world we leave for future generations. It is our responsibility to take action now, to protect our planet and ensure a sustainable future for all. Let us rise to the challenge and make a difference for the sake of our children and the generations to come.